I am not a tech girly. I am barely a YouTuber as it is. And in that regard, do I even have a right to speak on this? I know that I probably come off as a little blasé about all this. In the current moment, there has been a lot of pushback. Right now, I don't think it's happening, but that's a conversation for another day. I'm sure I'm gonna get roasted for this down in the comments, but hey there, welcome in or welcome back. My name is Avril, and in this corner of the internet, we chat about writing, life, and whatever else comes to mind. It has been quite some time since I've been able to sit down and properly record a video. And in that time, quite a few things have happened. The most noteworthy of all being the upcoming changes to the YouTube partnership program. I went back and forth on whether or not I actually wanted to make this video. It is definitely a departure from the usual chill, lighthearted vibe I try to bring to the channel, but at the same time, as a smaller creator, I do feel that it is important for me to speak on as someone who is in part impacted by this. And I feel like the smaller creator voice in general is being drowned out by the larger creators speaking on a topic that, in a lot of ways, doesn't impact them the same way. And unfortunately, the thing that I've taken to heart in all of this is the realization that, yeah, I do want to monetize this channel. And I hate what that is doing to my mindset. I know that I am really late to the party here, but unfortunately, life kind of got in the way this past week, and I wasn't able to sit down and record the proper video that I wanted to film for this. But hey, we're here now, and hopefully you'll stick around. A few weeks ago, YouTube announced that the requirements to join the YouTube Partnership Program, in other words, monetizing your channel, are going to be changing. These changes won't go in effect until February of next year, but it sent a ripple through the content creation community for understandable reasons. A couple of things before we get too far into the video. Number one, I am not an expert when it comes to YouTube. Far from it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of fumbling my way through everything. I am not a reliable source for getting your video to meet the new requirements. And if you've come to this video looking for those tips and advice and everything, I am not your girl. Also, this video is not meant to be a pity party where I'm the guest of honor. I really just kind of wanted to put my thoughts out there because, like I mentioned earlier, I haven't seen that many smaller creators talking about this where I feel like the smaller creators are the ones that are going to be hit the hardest by this. Also, I have a ton of notes here that I will be referring to throughout the video, so if you happen to see me kind of glancing over this way, I'm probably trying to keep myself on track and keep this whole video concise. I did make the attempt, and what you're seeing is a very abridged version of what I ended up with. The YouTube Partnership Program, or YPP, is essentially a way to monetize your content on the platform. The partnership program is currently broken up into two different tiers. At the first tier, you unlock things like channel memberships and other fan-funded things, but it's actually the second tier where you unlock ad revenue that is the focal point of the conversation. The current eligibility requirements for that second tier are 1,000 subscribers and either 10 million shorts views within 90 days or 4,000 watch hours within the past year in terms of long form content like this. However, YouTube recently announced that as of February 1st, 2027, the requirements will be changing. Creators will now need to achieve 1,000 subscribers and either 8,000 watch hours on long form content within the past year or 20 million shorts views within 90 days. To put it bluntly, they are doubling the criteria. In the description, I will have their blog posts linked where they are announcing the changes and the reasoning behind them. My understanding is that this is their way of trying to account for all of the new content being added to the platform, and as they've described it, making sure that creators are being paid fairly and, as they put it, ideally being paid more. Now, I am not a finance girly, I am not a tech girly, I am barely a YouTuber as it is. So I don't know how all this is going to pan out. But what I do know is that in the current moment, there has been a lot of pushback toward these changes. Like I mentioned at the top of the video, the majority of creators I saw speaking out against the changes are larger creators with an already established platform. And I think that is obviously related to my algorithm and all the research I was doing ever since last October when I decided that I did want to start a channel and I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything right because I was overthinking everything. And that overthinking was actually one of the reasons that this channel didn't get off the ground until March. Now, for me, when I was doing all that research, a lot of it was making sure that I had a good lighting setup, what mic I needed, how to get over my insecurities, and just begin to put myself out there. But a lot of the videos were often framed around monetizing your channel in 30 days, in 90 days, whatever time frame you want to give yourself. It was always focused on monetization and growing your audience and making money off your content. And back then, and even now, that was never really my goal. And I'm sure I'm going to get roasted for this down in the comments, but I don't exactly love the way that these larger creators are using the situation as a way to promote their services or their workbooks or their courses and what have you. I mean, on the one hand, I know that a large part of marketing and promotion is finding the need, the hurt of your potential customer, and then filling that need or hurt with your product. I get that. I know, but at the same time, it feels a little icky to me, and I'm not entirely sure why. I think it kind of goes back to how a lot of the videos that I was looking into when I started the channel, when I was trying to make sure I had good lighting and getting over all my insecurities and everything like that, were more focused on building your audience, not to build a community, but to reach monetization requirements. But to come back from that tangent, the other aspect I've noticed of these larger channels is that they're focusing their content now on how to grow your audience within 30 days, 90 days, by February 1st. Because here's the thing. If by February 1st you have already met the 4,000 watch hour requirement as it currently is, you're fine, it's good, you're grandfathered in, nothing to worry about. The change only kicks in on February 1st. So if it is January 31st and you are sitting there with 3,900 watch hours, 100 hours away, and it hits midnight on February 1st, well, congratulations, you have so much more to go. And that is why a lot of smaller creators are expressing their frustration with this. I saw one person say that they were feeling deflated. And it really is disheartening to hear that, hey, even if you are so close, we're moving the goalpost, all of a sudden it has become twice as hard to hit those requirements, or it will be. And a lot of the arguments I'm seeing now are that, hey, you still have this amount of time to kick your butt into gear and double your workload and hit those requirements. Here's a step-by-step guide on how to do it. And this is where I get to the heart of this video. I did not set out for this channel to be a monetized thing. I did not create this channel to make money. This is something that I've kind of started for fun, to have an accountability partner of sorts for my writing, to get myself back on track, and to kind of document my process as I go and build that community of fellow writers. Monetizing the channel was not something that I was actively pursuing. It was kind of a thing in the back of my mind of, if it happens, great. I wouldn't say no to it. I definitely wouldn't say no to it. But at the same time, it wasn't something that I was actively working toward. Monetizing the channel just wasn't a priority for me, and it was something that I knew wouldn't happen overnight if it did at all. I know plenty of booktubers and authortubers who have said that on average it took them about 2 to 3 years to hit the monetization requirements, again, as they currently are. I was good with that. I was fine. That was the expectation I had set for myself, and again, monetizing the channel was not a priority for me in any way, shape, or form. It was something that, okay, cool if it happened, but I wasn't actively chasing it. You know, if anything, it would be enough to maybe cover smaller incidentals and things like my phone bill or my cat's Chewy order. Nothing substantial, nothing essential like rent or gas or things like that. And that has been my mindset all along. That's been my mindset since I was looking at how to start this channel all the way back in October of last year. And when I uploaded my first video back in March, and up until about 3 weeks ago when the changes were announced. And now I feel like I have this pressure on myself to hit the requirements now or never, because if I don't hit the current requirements by February 1st, it's just going to be that much harder to reach monetization if I ever do. And I know that I'm not the only smaller creator feeling shut out by these changes. I have seen plenty of people say that they are thinking about quitting YouTube altogether because monetization is something that they're grinding toward and actively working toward and may not reach in time. I also know that I'm in a weird boat because I haven't been on the platform for a full year, And in that regard, do I even have a right to speak on this compared to someone who's been doing this for 5 years or even 10 years and hasn't hit those requirements yet? And as plenty of creators have pointed out, the good news is we do have plenty of time before February. But the bad news is that not everybody's time until February is going to look the same. That may be enough time for you or another creator. Maybe you like that pressure of now I have a deadline and I need to do this by this date. And maybe having that deadline fuels you as a creator and you're thinking to yourself, all right, well, I have until February 1st to hit this deadline and I'm going to go nose to the grindstone and reach those requirements as I currently are. And if that's you, I do wish you the best of luck because it is hard. I did see one post on Threads saying that it's not a big deal and that those 4,000 watch hours would probably only amount to $300 anyways, so it's really nothing to worry about. Except $300 is a lot of money for some people, including myself. That $300 would easily cover gas and food and my phone bill and a lot of the essentials that I have to pay out of my own pocket, which again goes back to YouTube being a supplemental thing, just as I imagine my writing would be. And that is something that I am going to talk about in a different video. We'll get there, don't worry. Spoiler alert, I don't see myself being a full-time YouTuber, and I don't see myself being a full-time writer either, but that's beside the point. The point is, it will be incredibly difficult to meet the current requirements for eligibility before February 1st when they change. And I know that, and I've already kind of accepted that I may not meet that, and that is okay because again, monetization was never the goal. It was always kind of a side quest. It's just that pressure that comes with knowing that come February, it will be literally twice as hard to reach monetization. Part of me is wondering if I should try to push myself and just see if I can hit those requirements just to do it. I still have things like my day job and other things going on, but at the same time, my schedule will be kind of opening up a little bit more. So that'll give me essentially another day or two of the week to film and do other things. But again, I do have other things that need to get done. I know I have a dental appointment coming up. I'm still in a medical trial for the COVID stuff. And oh yeah, I'm trying to finish drafting a book hopefully by the end of the year, which right now I don't think is happening, but that's a conversation for another day. And I'll be honest, the announcement from YouTube came at a terrible time for me because my day job is still in extended hours until I think next week. And that week I wasn't able to film because I had to go across state for an appointment having to do with this medical trial I'm in for my long COVID stuff. And it was just the worst possible day to do that. But, like I said, it's really not all about me, I promise. So that was kind of an adding insult to injury thing because I was already having that guilt of not being able to sit down like I am now and record a video and keep that streak alive. But where does that leave everything? As of right now, I do feel like I am at a little bit of a fork in the road. For the sake of being transparent, I don't think that I'll be hitting the requirements by February. As of right now, I'm currently at 61 subscribers, and I am so happy that all of you are here. And I'm also at 110 watch hours, which again, I am so grateful for. And honestly, that is more than I expected I'd be having anybody watch my content back in March. And as tiny as those numbers are, I am proud of them because that is proof of me doing the thing and showing up even on the hard days. And it may not be showing up every day, but it is showing up in the capacity that I am able. And for that, I really am proud of myself. I have had to overcome a lot of insecurities with this. I've had to learn so much to get the ball rolling, figure out tech setup, barely. This channel is definitely the mark of a new era for me. Decided that, hey, I am doing this. I'm coming out of my shell. I'm getting over all those insecurities and I'm going to figure out how to do this, even if it is for fun and only something that I do for myself. And ideally, I would love that to build a community. And if that does end up with a monetized channel on the way, so be it. But again, that's not something that I want to be actively chasing. I don't want to put myself under that pressure of trying to meet the current criteria before the new criteria kicks in. There is a part of me that wants to see if I can do it. And while I could grind for those watch hours and try to rack up my subscriber counts, that is not the approach I want to take with the channel. Back when I was doing all my research before launching the channel, a lot of the content I found was built around monetizing your channel and how to grow your fan base, your audience, but not how to grow your community. Not about building genuine connection, only racking up that watch time. That has never been the approach that I've wanted to take with this channel. And I hate that the announcement of the upcoming changes put me in that mindset for even a few weeks. Because I spent the past week, especially, trying to lay out a plan of, okay, if I post twice a week, if I do this and this and this and this and this, maybe I'll be able to hit it by the end of January and reach monetization and not have to worry about it. But then I made myself take a step back and I realized that is not the channel I want to build. Like I said back in March, my goal for the channel has never really been building an audience or building a fan base that would eventually buy my books. I only wanted this channel to be a cozy place on the internet where we could talk about writing, life, whatever else comes to mind, and build this community, not an audience, not a fan base, but a genuine community. And I am so frustrated with myself that I even let the thought of I have to monetize this channel by February even enter my head because that took the fun out of this. And at the end of the day, that is all I ever want it to be. I want to focus more on getting better, learning more about how to do YouTube, just because it's a skill that I want to develop, not because I'm trying to earn an income from it and turn it into another revenue stream. I think it's just that when we think about monetizing a YouTube channel, the partnership program at that second tier is what we tend to think of first and what a lot of creators do shoot for first. And I think that is one of the things that makes it so hard to hear that the requirements are changing. Hey there, editing Avril here, and I just wanted to pop in because I don't think I did a great job clarifying my trajectory for the channel and how I want to take things until February. So I figured I would just pop in real quick here and kind of talk about that real quick. If you haven't already gathered from the video, I think my main vexation with the whole changing of monetization rules and everything really comes from how I let myself get caught up in feeling like I needed to put that pressure on myself and needed to hit those monetization requirements by February or else. And the fact that I kind of lost the true intention of the channel along the way and turned it more into a side hustle than a side quest. And again, I would definitely not say no to monetize my channel if the opportunity came up, but that isn't something that I want to be actively chasing, even though my schedule is opening up in a few weeks and I theoretically would have time to make more content as the bigger creators tell you. But again, that's not the way I want to treat the space. That's never been the objective here. So the way I'm looking at it right now is I'm probably going to keep it to a once a week upload. And if I have the ability to add a second video, fantastic. I actually, in the past couple of weeks, I did have a full-on color-coded sheet of 2 video uploads and then a blog post, and looking at that screen really did overwhelm me. It was pretty daunting, even though I made it, cutesy and fun and pink and everything to try to make it more aesthetic and less intimidating. It's still intimidating. And hey, that may change. I may be in a spot where I decide, hey, I feel like uploading 2 videos this week, but I'd rather focus more on the quality of the content and getting better than the quantity of the content I'm putting out. So yeah, long story short, if the opportunity to monetize the channel came up, whether that is before February or after February, if I do somehow manage to meet the new requirements, I would not say no. In the words of my mother, some money is good, more is always better. But again, I don't want that to be my focal point. I'd rather focus more on building a community over here, keeping things cozy, and keeping things authentic to me. So I'm going to turn it over to past Avril now and let her finish out the video. But thank you so much for hearing me out and being here and spending a little bit of your day here with me. But like I said, I am not a tech girly. I am not a finance girly. I don't know how any of this works, so I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. I think I've said everything that really is on my mind when it comes to the changes to the partnership program, so I will leave it here. I know this video went off on quite a few tangents. So if you did make it this far, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. And if you are a smaller creator like me, I would love it if you introduced yourself down in the comments so we can start finding those connections and supporting each other in what is going to be a very challenging time for a lot of us. I know that I probably come off as a little blasé about all this. And I know that there are creators who are going to be pushing themselves until February to meet those milestones. And if that is you, I do sincerely wish you the best of luck because it is already challenging as it is, and it is only going to get harder. And speaking of my schedule freeing up, be sure to let me know if there are any other writing videos or writing adjacent things you want to see here on the channel. And be sure to like and subscribe and do all the things for more writing, life, and whatever else comes to mind. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day here with me in this corner of the internet. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. From what I gathered, based on what other booktubers and author tubers were saying, on average, it would take about 2 to 3 years of being on the platform, posting consistently, and building that audience. Sorry, long COVID brain fog moment. I almost said genetically, and I know that is not the way I want to build my platform.